Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. So, there are so many comments already coming up in the chat, and that's really fantastic. I mean, to see everybody joining us in here after continuous classes, from the morning. So amazing. Do let me know in the comment section, like, how are you guys all doing? And yeah, of course, good evening. And yeah, fine, fantastic. All of you joining us in, that's fantastic. Let us wait for so many other people to join us in. So, very good evening, everybody. A very good evening. So it's really fantastic to see everybody joining us in. Wow, a lot of people, Ria, Thakur, and all of you, welcome to this session today. And do let me know, like, how excited are you for today's session? And a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all the boys and girls of the house here present here. It's really amazing to see everybody. And introducing about myself, my name is Chanda Harshita, going to be the host for this evening, welcoming you all back again to yet another informative, interactive, and an absolutely illuminating session today with the dignitary. Okay, now I can see the comments here in the YouTube section. Amazing, guys. Okay, great to see you. Yeah, that's amazing. So, today's event is brought to you by none other than the student organization LetsUpgrad in collaboration with the student organization Gravity under the aegis of Student Organization Cell and Division of Student Welfare, lovely professional university. Okay, lot of inquisitiveness now oozing out of the comment section, and that makes me even more exuberant. Great. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you so much for asking, guys. Thank you so much. Hope the same from all of you. So, talking about our organization for today, LetsUpgrad is welcoming you all today to this eye-catching and a spectacular happening this evening, guys. And the student organization LetsUpgrad has been putting its unswerving and relentless endeavor to provide you with an ideal and an exemplary vision, that would edify, enlighten, and empower up your energy, enthusiasm, and exposure, driving you towards your the most coveted aspirations. So do let me know in the comment section now, like, how excited are you for today's session? We also have our dignitary and the speaker for today joining us in, and I welcome all to this webinar on future opportunities in drone industry as a part of Aerotrix Gravithon 2021 event today. So yeah, I can see so many comments coming up in the chat, like, okay, a lot of people got their classes completed just now. Yeah, very excited. That's amazing, fantastic to see everybody joining us in. So today, we will be learning more about the opportunities, the importance, and the implementation of drones, especially in the drone industry. So ladies and gentlemen, do also let me know who is going to be our speaker for today. It would be fantastic seeing the name of the speaker for today coming up in the chat as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have the founder and managing director of Jane Aerospace, who will be joining us live shortly on this very virtual platform with LetsUpgrad to give a glimpse on this wonderful domain of drone industry. So, I could see so many people already commenting the name there in infinite excitement, and that's amazing, Ria. Great, keep it up. So we have Mr. Leo Peter Charles, who is going to join us live shortly, who is the founder and managing director of Jane Aerospace, going to talk all about drone industry, who has got a lot of expertise in the field. Now he is also an aero modeler and a drone platform evangelist, also serial entrepreneur who has got an experience of having startups and training industry. He has trained over 5,000 plus and over students in modeling from last 6 years now, guys, and is also an aerospace consultant for various academic institutions and aerospace companies. So listening to all of these, I think there are so many people already getting excited there in the comment section. I can already see. So he's also the founder of Jane Aerospace, which is also called as JMA, which is India's first aerospace ecosystem startup to assist the aerospace industry in scaling up all the domains in the expertise. And aerospace has worked, to raise awareness, provide infrastructure, support, test site access, skilled aerospace workforce, and business solutions, investment access, and fostering the industry expertise and academia collaborations. I can see so many people commenting over there. I also have an eye on all your comments, guys. Keep commenting, keep complimenting there. Would love to see all of you commenting there. And coming back, yeah, Jane Aerospace has partnered with EVF from Germany as well, and Vector 3D in Australia to bring a cutting edge aerospace technology to India. And Jane Aerospace has conducted more than 200 workshops and professional talk shows, webinars, seminars, in innumerable top institutions, colleges, and organizations to help you give an insight into the aerospace domain, and is also a member of organization of the Drone Federation of India. I can already see, a lot of amazing comments coming up in the chat. Okay, now, why is it very important for us, to learn something about the drone industry? Of course, because it has got a wide variety of opportunities where it solves, the complex problems arising in the society, which also becomes unsurmountable even for the humans, like, aerial photography, for collecting digital data, assets management, and aerial mapping, remote sensing, data acquisition, and whatnot, in the field. So with I hope after listening to all of the content and the organization and the event and the session for today, about the webinar, all of you are now like very charged up for this session. And do let me know like how excited are you for this session. So I would not want to delay a lot with that. I would like to take the privilege to call upon stage our speaker for today, Mr. Leo Peter Charles, sir, onto the platform. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Harshita. It's a pleasure being here and then to be addressing the gathering. Drones have been really exciting for pretty much a decade for me. I first started building unmanned aircraft in the form of model aircrafts right when I was in college. I did my bachelor's under Air Commodore S.C. Gupta, who's the former director of Semilac. Semilac is the organization that approves most of our military aircraft design that we get through technology transfer. So he headed most of the Jaguar program and the NAT, and later some part of Tejas in terms of design. And then it was a sheer pleasure to be learning under him, who was always encouraging, and because of that I had a paper presentation with DRDO as well that later helped me throughout my career till date. But it was sheer fun. So all of this started as a hobby for me. So when I was doing my bachelor's in aeronautical engineering, aeromodeling was a hobby. It was the buzzword. We were learning how to build aircrafts, right? So if you have to actually build a live manned aircraft, it would cost you a lot of money. And then we did not have that then. And so we started with model aircrafts, and then we used to fly them at our aerodrome here in Bangalore at Jakkur. And the first aircraft I built was a 7-foot wingspan engine powered RC model that we used to fly. And that's how it all started, and never looked back. So I've been flying fixed wing, both heli rotary wing as well as multi rotors right from 2010. And then whenever multi rotors came, we picked up that technology as well. And for me, the sky has always been the inspiration, and that's why I've stuck to this space. Aerospace in India has very limited outreach. When we were there way back 2010, 11, 12, we didn't know a lot of private companies existed, but they do. And the only organization we knew that manufactured aircrafts was the HAL. But now today we have a lot of companies that are making helicopters, that are making aircraft. So Tata today makes the Apache Longbow helicopter fuselage here in India. We have the Chinook central fuselage also being made here, and then we have various other control panels and empennages that are being made for various other aircraft. So the space is very rapidly growing. And it's very funny how I ventured into the drone market. So since we were aero modelers and we could fly unmanned aircrafts, drone companies who are startups then were looking for pilots, and that's how it really started. Aero modelers are very expensive to hire because the hobby itself is expensive, and hence a lot of startups asked for pilots to be trained so that they could basically scale up. And then that's how the training platform started. And from then, we've been building a lot of services that could help the drone ecosystem grow. One thing we realized is we've missed the aircraft manufacturing curve because it was a lot of capital intensive industry, and hence we couldn't venture much into it. Given India's condition between the 1930s, post-independence, 1947 up to 80s, 90s, uh, IT picked up and other manufacturing picked up, but then aircraft manufacturing is highly capital intensive, and then we did not have that kind of capital that time. But the drone industry is not like that, and that is why I saw potential and also realized that this industry needs a support system to be built so that we don't end up missing the curve. And that's how it all started. I had a previous organization where we used to train students on aero modeling because the foundation of the unmanned aviation space, or right now we've changed that word, it's uncrewed to make the word gender neutral. So the uncrewed aviation space foundation lies in aero modeling, and that's when we started training a lot of students so that 6 7 years down the line, I'm talking about 2016 17, down the line we will have enough workforce that is inspired to take up this space, so it makes easier for companies to start and scale up. And in 2019, I started Jain Aerospace in the month of December. And then we initially started off with training. We also started off with getting companies locations to set up factory. We also built few test sites for companies to test their drones. And as you all are aware, in March, we had a lockdown at the end of March. Now, I can proudly tell the drone pilots in India are few of the people who are not in the government and then still were not in the lockdown. So we were flying across the country for the government. So the first week of April, we got invited by the Bangalore City Police to fly for them to test out various drone applications that could help them effectively enforce the lockdown. So in the lockdown, when all shops were closed, we took permission from the commissioner's office. I got the shop that made speakers or megaphones open. Then we got one small megaphone made, and then we fixed it to the drone that was being built at General Aeronautics, who's one of our clients. They make agricultural systems. So we fixed it to that, and then voila, we had a drone that from which you could make public announcements. So that now, why we made this is there was a lot of containment zones where there were a spike in the COVID cases, and then we felt auto rickshaw to go inside or even patrolling vehicles to go inside is a challenge, because people who are going into these containment zones, there's always a possibility they could pick up these infections. So then we started flying these drones from outside the perimeter of the containment zones, and then we started making public announcements, and then we had a camera attached to the drone so we could have live feed to know if people are grouping, or if there's a crowd that is being formed or they're gathering and then not maintaining social distancing. This was also being replicated or even made better across the country, where different drone companies started doing this. They even put thermal cameras which had radiometric capability, so this basically is you point the thermal camera towards a person and you can get their temperature. So that's another thing that happened that time. So initial phases we were trying out aerial disinfection. So agricultural drones were repurposed to spray disinfectants across containment zones, around marketplaces, across hospitals that were housing COVID patients. So this was tried out, and even delivery was attempted to move medicine and life-saving drugs into containment zones. So I had the opportunity to work with the Bangalore City Police, and seeing this, we got a call from the Chief Minister's office at Odisha, and then the most amazing journey, I would say. Myself and my team, we traveled from Bangalore to Bhubaneswar, 1,500 kilometers on road, all alone. I think that would never be possible again. We are the only people on the road, and that was a thrilling experience. The All India Bank Employees Association helped us with a space. So this is all the advantage of being in the drone industry. Your connections are also going to be really great. So the All India Bank Employees Association got us their guest house at Vijayawada. That was a very great help from their side, because there were no hotels taking in, and then we couldn't drive directly 1,500 kilometers to Bhubaneswar. And then once we landed, I stayed in Odisha for 60 days. We did a lot of activity in Cuttack and Bhubaneswar, where we did public announcement, we did surveillance, we did disinfection spraying, we did delivery. All of this was attempted, and the most fantastic thing is Odisha government also realized the importance of drones, and I think we are the only training school that operated during the lockdown. We trained the staff of the Odisha Skill Development Authority and the ITI at Cuttack and Bhubaneswar. Because of that endeavor, today ITI Cuttack and ITI Bhubaneswar have Center of Excellence for drones, where they also have manufactured these drones. So that's the most beautiful thing that happened. Then we came back, and coincidentally, there was a locust attack in the regions of Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Delhi, and the Ministry of Farmer Welfare, Agriculture and Farmer Welfare reached out to drone companies, and they wanted that problem to be mitigated. Now, why did the ministry reach out? There's a simple problem. Adult locusts sit on the ground, the young ones sit on top of trees. If you try to spray this chemical from the bottom, it will never reach the top. Even if 5 or 6 locusts remain, they will create a swarm again. And these swarms were as big as 5 square kilometers. If unchecked, today we would have had a food security issue in this country. Drone companies from across the country came together. They operated in the harsh environments of the Rajasthan desert, flying early morning into the sun, into 11 o'clock in the afternoon, when the heat was when the heat started becoming very high. And all of this happened in June and July. So that was a phase, and then all it was successfully thwarted. The locust swarm was destroyed, and the crops were saved. After that, I had the privilege of also being the CEO of Garuda Aerospace, and that is where I came across, or I built a lot of solutions that did not exist in the country before. So we built India's first contact-based inspection drone for ultrasonic thickness testing uh, of metal structures, and for that was done for Godrej. That was a spectacular solution that we built. It cut Godrej's downtime from for a week, I guess. Yeah, it was almost a week to 4 hours. That is what we could achieve, and then we brought down the inspection cost by 1/5 the amount, and hence they could move for larger inspection. And this was safe. People did not have to climb up and then manually test. Drones were doing it. You did not have to build the support structure, and you did not have to shut down the plant for a really long time. So this saved almost crores of money for Godrej, and that way we could efficiently also check a lot of parts of the chimney which would otherwise be deemed dangerous. And because of the reverse migration of agricultural laborers from South India, the farmers were facing a lot of challenges. There we introduced drones in agriculture. It was a spectacular experience for me, because of the fact that I got to travel all over South India again with these drones to understand how effective these systems can be. Generally, if you're from agricultural background, you will know they use about 200 to 250 liters of water with the chemical for spraying for an acre. We brought that volume down to 20 liters, and manually you can spray a maximum of 2.5 acres in a day. We increased that to 50 acres a day, and no human intervention. That means nobody is inhaling these hazardous chemicals, and we saved the farmers lakhs of rupees in medical expenditure. We made the process more efficient. We reduced the amount of pesticide that would remain as suspended particles in the air, which would cause problems later. And we ensured that the plant received the right amount of dosage so as to fight the disease or pest. And this was a very big hit. We could approximately do 20,000 acres that year. I'm talking 2020 to 2021 up to March. And this also helped bring down costs, save time, and make it more safe. So this is something that we experimented for over 15 crops across South India, and then few states in the north as well, in UP, in Punjab, in Bihar, and Uttarakhand. Then came the Samvitva program of the Survey of India and Ministry of Panchayat Raj, where for the first time since the Survey of India was established 250 years ago, and since the time of independence, digital land records were to be issued to the landowners in the Abadi region. So the Abadi region is basically the settlement region in any village. Right now, all the documentation exists only at the Gram Panchayat level, with which you cannot go and take a loan for starting an entrepreneurial venture, or you could not pledge it for anything else. So that became a problem. You could never monetize on the property that you had, and there were a lot of other challenges with the documentation, since all of it was paper, and it only existed with the Gram Panchayat. And the Survey of India said, let's use drones, let's digitize the land records of 6.6 lakh villages in India. And that process started. It's a very beautiful initiative by our Honorable Prime Minister and the Ministry of Panchayat Raj with the support of Survey of India. Survey of India ordered 500 drones, and they are looking to deploy 2,500 systems across the country to finish this task that we started for the first time after independence, and first time after Survey of India was established 250 years ago. So that happened, and that was a very great experience. And after that, we had the glacial disaster that happened in Uttarakhand. Now, that is an experience in itself. 2 days. Let's consider ground day zero as when the disaster happened. Day one, National Disaster Response Force calls us up and says, let's put the drones to action. We had previously demonstrated to them what drones were capable of. And then on day two, afternoon, I left from Chennai to Bangalore, picked up the systems, flew to Uttarakhand, and I don't know how many of you have had this opportunity. I've got to fly in the Chinook, the new heavy lift helicopters that had been recently delivered to the Indian Air Force. We flew from Dehradun to Chamoli, and from there we were immediately deployed to Tapovan and Rainy Village, two sites where the dams had been washed away, and then we started our work. I flew my first experience flying 2,500 meters above sea level. Air is thin, too much turbulence. There's a lot of mountains, GPS bounds. We did a lot of activities. We sent out drones for surveillance to see if there are any survivors. We also did asset inspection. We did river monitoring all the way up from Rainy Village up to the Chamoli tunnel at the bottom. And this was a unique experience that showed us what it means to be in a situation where a disaster has happened. Temperatures dropping -2 to -4 degrees, very hazardous conditions. But working with the NDRF is always a joy. I've never seen a more cheerful bunch of people. Otherwise, working in that situation is very psychologically stressing because they're pulling out bodies on a daily basis. But that was an experience that gave us a lot of insight as to what an advanced early warning system using drones for natural disasters would help in saving lives. That's when I came up with that concept, and we've been working on that. And we also had the opportunity to work or demonstrate for the Metro Rail Corporation. So Metro needs a lot of inspection. To do it manually becomes very difficult for them, and the Chennai Metro Rail Corporation invited us for inspecting the metro pillars and bridges. There are a lot of aspects that needs to be inspected, from cracks to deformities to power line distortion to track misalignment to roof inspection of the metro stations. The list is almost 20 in number, and that is where we did a POC, and they were very happy about that. And a lot of factories which are very large in size wanted surveillance, so we did demonstration of that. And April, I quit the role of being the CEO of Garuda Aerospace, because the obligation that we had with them in terms of deliverables were completed very quickly. We also got Garuda evaluated at almost 400 crores by KPMG. So this all happened very short span of time, and then we moved on to building more of our services. April and May was lockdown. In the lockdown, we did webinars to educate a lot of our youth about the uses of the drones in India. And we also started talking to a lot of drone companies in India and abroad to build niche solutions that could minimize a lot of manual intervention, human error, and could automate these a lot of processes in the spirit of Industry 4.2. And that's how our partnership with EVA, with Anavia, with Vector 3D, and then the list is now getting added up. And we will be bringing these solutions to the country so that it will also help bring technology from other countries to improve what we're already building. And then also we will not remain behind in with those advanced countries in implementing those technologies. So this is my idea, and that's how we've been trying to build solutions for various government and private organizations with these our partners overseas. And we've also had the opportunity to continue our training program. We've been training, and then we've partnered with Flight Tech Aviation Academy to provide drone licenses right now, DGCA approved drone licenses, so that our training is complete. So this is what we've done in the last 2 years. It's been very exciting. The application in the drone industry is enormous. You can think of something today, then it's possible tomorrow. That's how fast you can implement an application. Somebody thought they could put a drone on another planet, and then we had Ingenuity flying in Mars. That was an achievement of a lifetime, right? And that even boosted a lot of activities. And then we had National Highway Authority of India making it mandatory for drone footage to be taken every week of any new projects, for them to understand the developments that were happening, without which contractor bills were not being cleared. So that's another place where this got a huge push. Idea Forge got a contract for 20 million USD to sell military drones to the Indian Armed Force. We had a drone swarm display at the Army Day in New Delhi. The swarm was built by a company here in Bangalore called New Space, who are our clients. And now they've recently been awarded another contract for 100 crores to deliver these drones again. So that's another beautiful thing that's happening in the segment. A large amount of government players are entering this space. Few bad things also happened. We had drone attacks, rogue drone attacks, as we call it in Jammu, I guess. And that prompted the boost of implementing anti-rogue drone technology and government started emergency procurement. BEL has won a contract by the Indian Navy to install anti-rogue drone tech at most of the Navy installments, and then few other companies abroad. The Indian armed forces on an emergency procurement went for anti-drone tech. So that's another space. So when we talk drones, we also talk anti-drone technology, because that's also another booming sector. Now, all of this is happening if you go and look at the e-procurement portal where all the government tenders are out. You will see one drone tender in every department. That is how greatly this technology has implemented government operations. Now, apart from this, there's a lot of work that went on the regulation side. 2013 drones were banned in India. The first regulation allowing commercial operation of drones came out on the 1st of December 2018. The second law under the aircraft rules came out on the 18th of March 2021, but those rules were too strict, and then that would never have helped the drone industry to grow up. With the discussions with the industry stakeholders, government stakeholders, the law was again amended on the 25th of August 2021. Drone Rules 2021 was released, and that liberalized the entire drone space, making it more simple and making it more easy for R&D to take place. Today, if you want to do drone R&D at your college, you don't need any permission. You can simply just fly drones at your college. Make sure you only just fly below 400 feet. You can even test drone taxis right now. You don't need permission. You would maybe need permission to import the technology, but then it's basically covered under the present rules. So this is how liberalized even the law became, because the India is set to become the largest market for drones in the world. That's how fast it's growing. The largest commercial drone procurement by any government is still in India. And then India is buying 30 MQ9s from General Atomic at almost, I think, 3 billion US dollars. That's 30, almost 30 crores, 30,000 crores, right? And there's an NSUAS program with the Indian Navy where they're buying another 50 systems. That's even larger. So both military and commercial procurement is large. And another important aspect is a lot of investments, foreign direct investment is coming into India to drone companies. So, and this is a very positive fact, because FDI will now improve our R&D capability, our manufacturing capability, the capability of the drone startups to scale up and for expansion. And this is another aspect that we need to look into. Apart from this, ICMR rolled out RFP, request for proposal, for vaccination delivery. And that's one of its kind now that will happen in the Northeast, will happen in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So that is another phase where drone delivery is now happening on a very large scale. So given all of this, and given that we've been very rapidly expanding, the number of drone companies in India has now crossed 200. And that's a beautiful aspect. And I think the amount of investment has also crossed close to, I guess, 10 or 20 million USD. And that number will keep increasing. We are having very large players entering this segment. Adani Defense, Reliance Defense, we're having Mahindra, we're having Tafe, we're having Tata, all of the big names in the manufacturing segment entering this space. And that means more opportunity, more jobs, more entrepreneurial benefits, better ecosystem. And it would be more easier for you guys when you pass out of college to have a drone startup than what we faced. And I think that is where the beauty of this entire tech lies. You can have a drone startup right off your college and it would not cost much. You could not have an aviation startup. That is what is going to cost much, or an aircraft startup. So drone startup is going to be easier. And then with the liberalized rules, you could start it right now in your college. If you're in second year, third year, doesn't matter. You can start a company right now, build tech in fabricating propellers, building BLDC motors, electronic speed controllers, carbon fiber plates, tubes, um, flight controllers. You can go for building compasses, GPS. These are most of the parts that are being imported right now for building drones. So these are places you could do. You can go into payload. We don't have camera manufacturing for drones in India. We don't have lidar manufacturing for drones in India. We don't have other high-end sensor manufacturing for drones in India. You could venture into this space. You don't really have to only build a drone. You could build the supporting components that drones require to be manufactured, and that itself is another large ecosystem. You're looking at $100 billion market. $100 billion. So that is what is the size of the industry. Even if you get 0.001% of the pie, you're sorted for life. Imagine the guys who started the IT wave in India, they're all billionaires today. And that is what the drone industry offers. The sheer thrill of making something new, the sheer thrill of making a lot of money, and the sheer thrill of helping a lot of people achieve or delivering solutions to them to make their life easier. This is what drones offer, and you get to fly literally anywhere. That's the whole beauty. And then when drone taxis come into India, I think everybody's aspiration to fly will be fulfilled. So that is what the entire industry brings forward. There are a lot of job opportunities. Apart from being an entrepreneur, you can there are a lot of jobs. So one is the primary is being a drone pilot. You can also be a co-pilot. You can be a drone pilot instructor. You can be a drone test pilot. You can go into systems integration. You can go into communications. You can go into fabrication and design. You can go into battery management, battery repairs, software development for ground control station, soft fleet management, unmanned traffic management. The list is pretty much endless. There are 4 to 5 job roles that never existed that came into four. One is the pilot, the test pilot, the instructor, the co-pilot, and the aerial data analytics engineer. These are jobs that was created because of the drone market. So that is the beauty of the entire space. And being an entrepreneur, you might not require more than 5 lakhs of investment. That is now easily available as loans in the Mudra scheme and other Startup India scheme. Or you can even get a grant if your idea is very novel, up to 50 lakhs in seed funding as a grant. I'm not even talking as a loan. So that is all the opportunities that are there. And the best part is you can build your experience right from college. Nobody says that your experience as drone pilots or drone designers from college doesn't consider or doesn't count as experience, right? The industry accepts that. And a lot of competitions around the world will test your mettle and your ability to design solutions using the aerial drone platforms uh, to see how much you could put out there. Because today, the most novel things are happening with drones. They're using drones for pollination. They're using drones to collect DNA sample from whales. They're using drones to video volcanic eruptions. They're using drones to pluck fruits. They're using drones in racing. My goodness, that is going to be the next big thing in the racing world. Uh, they're using drones for inventory management to take stock taking at warehouses. They're using drones for soil analysis. They're using drones for crop analysis. They're using drones to test, predict weather. I think the list goes on. I'm trying to see how many of that 200 I can put in there. They're using drones that can morph in size to go into close knit spaces. They're using drones to inspect mining tunnels. They're using drones to inspect your mobile telecommunication towers. They're using drones to inspect solar panels, windmills. They're using drones to paint. They're using drones to drill. They're using drones to clean windows. That list keeps on going. Today, any manual labor that can be done with these two hands can be done on drones. That's the whole point. Adobe is working on a technology where you can use drones to paint murals on high-rise buildings. So that's where it has come to. You couple AI and machine learning with computer vision all put together, and with a very good power system, you can do wonders with drone technology. So there's one saying that I always keep telling: drone application is limited by human imagination. Whatever you can imagine that can go on a drone can definitely go on a drone. If 20 years ago, if you would have told somebody that you could have a seminar with a person sitting in Bangalore and then the audience sitting all over the world, nobody would have believed it. Today it's happening. So it's just about imagination. Today, if you could imagine a solution that would make sense, uh, that can definitely happen tomorrow. You just have to put your mind to it. So this is what I wanted to share. I think it's better if we could take questions and then I can answer. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. So good evening, one adult. Once again, I'm Nimisha. I'm going to be a host for the last few minutes. So this was a very wonderful session, and introducing myself is not having a room over here. So now it's time for the questions. So audiences, please raise up your questions in the chat box. We are eagerly waiting for that. We have a question from Sushil Kumar that does one need local administration's permission to fly a drone? This is our first question.
Okay, so it depends on the drone that you're flying. If you're flying nano category drone that's below 250 grams, you don't need. Any drone you're flying in green zone, you can fly it. That's no problem. Green zone, there right now the zones are divided into three: red, yellow, and green. Red and yellow, you need permissions at all cost. At green zone, you don't need permission. If you're flying below 400 feet above ground level, it's all fine. But the pilot needs to have a pilot license. This is valid for anybody flying a drone for commercial aspects above 250 grams and for personal aspects above 2 kgs.
Okay, Sushil Kumar, I think your doubt is cleared now. So next question is from Ria Singh. Can someone track a drone?
You can definitely track a drone. Right now, so I can't tell which organization is building, but then the radars are being built to track drones. Right now, it's possible.
Okay, guys, please put up your queries in the chat box. We're in the last minutes of the session, so please fast. Which drone is best for beginners? It is also from Ria Singh.
So that's so when you're a beginner, it's always about how much it's going to affect your pocket. You can always go for a DIY kit so that when it breaks, it's not very expensive to repair. You have the F450 DIY kit that you get on any hobby store or electronic store. That becomes very simple. Buy a F450 kit, buy a Pixoc 2.4.8, buy a 2200 or 3300 milliampere 3S lithium polymer battery, get a fly sky transmitter. All of this put together should not be more than 20,000 rupees. That's the best, because any other system that you buy, once it crashes, you'll have to buy the whole drone again. In this, you can repair the parts. You get individually all of the parts available, and then it will only cost you a fraction to repair. Be rest assured, you will crash your first system. It's the same with everyone. When we used to crash, it used to be very expensive, but then now it's cheaper, because the first transmitter I remember when I purchased was 15,000 rupees. You get that now with 3,000 rupees and even cheaper. So times have changed. It's best to start with DIY and then move into more professional systems.
Okay, so next question is from Rohan. Actually, that's not a doubt. He is asking Sir's help for aerospace research. I think if you can explain a bit about it, it will be a lot much help for Rohan.
Cool. So you can always ring us up, 888-433-757. My team will pick up the call. You can tell them what it is, and then we can have a separate call, because research is basically you will have to tell me what you want to research on, and then I can definitely help you with that. We do that with a lot of universities in India and abroad. If the project's really good, and then we can support that, no problem.
Wow, that was a wonderful answer. I think, Rohan, that's a great help for you. And guys, we are waiting for your questions. Please, please, fast. We have to wrap it up the session, please. Okay, so if you guys want, I can repeat the number. So it is 888 433 757. The number is 888 433 757.
And another thing that you guys can do to stay updated, you can follow Jane Aerospace on all the social media platforms. We keep writing blogs on new drone technology that comes out. You can also follow me on LinkedIn. Since I work with a lot of CEOs across the globe, we get instant access to the new technology that they roll out, and then I keep constantly sharing that on my LinkedIn page. That helps you to keep stay up to date on what's happening in the drone and aerospace segment.
Yes, yes. So the audiences who wanna keep in touch, they can always follow the page of Jain Aerospace. So this is going to be the last round of doubts. So if anyone is having doubts, please raise it up now, please. Okay, so now I can see a lot of reviews in the chat box. Thank you for the amazing session, wonderful session. Okay, it is excellent, informative. Okay, okay, okay. So I think we can wrap it up the session now.
Super.
Okay. Guys, you can always put down your reviews on the chat box. We will be so eager to see that. Okay, so I'm having one more duty in charge, that is to express a vote of thanks. So once William Arthur Ward said, what you're feeling, if you're not expressing what you're feeling gratitude for, it is just like wrapping up a present and not gifting that to anyone. So I'm not going to do that sin now. I'm just going to express my sincere thanks to our special guest, that is Leo Peter Charles, for his wonderful words and informative session. So I know that he is such a busy man. Despite his busy schedule, he has found some time to share some knowledge and such a valuable session with us. So we know that a thanks is not enough for him. But in this situation, all we can give is a heartfelt thanks from the organization Let's Upgrade and the organization Gravity. Okay, so give me goosebumps several times. It was amazing, epic session. Okay, great. Okay, okay. It is really wonderful to see the chats. Okay, okay. So I would like to also appreciate the efforts of all the team members of organization Let's Upgrade and organization Gravity. I know them personally. They have took a lot of efforts to make this session a memorable one or sounding success. And last but not the least, I want to thank all the audience over here. They were so much energetic, so much restless. Yeah, you all guys need a special appreciation. Yes, yes. I was always keeping an eye on the chat, and it was really wonderful. You all guys were making it an epic section. Okay, so last but not the least, thank all the audience over here. Thank all the members of the organizations, and thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank
a
you all.
pleasure. Great evening ahead. Cheers.
So we also had a wonderful session. Thank you for organizing this webinar. We should also thank you for presenting in this appearing for this. Thank you all.